Writing is my favorite class. Mrs. Spears, she was a strict teacher, but she was also the writing teacher. So I wanted to do the best. One day, I was at home watching Cartoon Network, and I think Teen Titans Go is better than Teen Titans personally. I'm sorry. But we were learning about poems around this time. So what I wanted to be that stuck up kid and be extra, even though I'm not getting extra credit. Around this time, I wasn't feeling the best, so there's nothing better to write about, right? So the next day, I present the poem to my teacher, and her crickets were really loud. But ultimately, she did compliment my work, so I thought I achieved. She did have a follow up question, though, to print out my poem. And who am I, an 11-year-old, to say no to a teacher? So that day, I get picked up from school from my mom, and before I get out of the car, she asks if she can have a conversation with me. I didn't think I messed up in front of her, so I had no issue with that. She told me that my teacher was concerned about me because of my poem. She told me that I could be labeled as the depressed kid. Now, me being 11, I didn't have the willpower to pick up my iPod and look up what depressed meant. So I let her talk, and then I went back upstairs to watch my Teen Titans Go. I was the kid where I wasn't necessarily popular, but everyone knew about me and didn't have an issue with me. This year, I decided I wanted to try to make new friends because I was tired of talking about Justice, which was a popular little girls' store when I was young, with anyone but my mom. But these girls, they didn't want to be my friend. They wanted to be my friend's friend. And with that, mixed with a lot of stress, it took a big toll on me in sixth grade. I became that depressed kid my mom told me I could be labeled as. If I wasn't in the ER, I was at a hospital. If I wasn't at a hospital, I was at a safe house. There was always something. So it got bad to the point where the doctors thought it wasn't no point to send me home because I was just going to be back the next day. So one fateful day, they decided to send me to a long term residential. They picked me up that same day and they put me in the back of an ugly tan minivan with a paper and two crayons. And we took the 4 hour drive to get to the prison. We pulled up to an enormous building. It was a off-white paint, and then there's a couple circles around because that was their logo, and you could see a few windows, but the paint ultimately swallowed those. Me and the 2 ladies walked to the tall door. They punched in their six-digit code. We got inside, and I got to the nursing unit. At the nursing unit, you have to get your strip search, and then you have to get your items authorized. I had a notebook that had my whole life. I was at the hospital and they had to rip out half of it because it wasn't to their standards. I got on the unit and I realized that this wasn't just going to be no week and a half stay like all my other ones was. Fast forward 4 days before my 12th birthday. If you guys know, your 12th birthday, turning a preteen is more important than turning a teen. And I thought there was some way they can accommodate me being able to see my family. But because I was there for such a short amount of time and it wasn't a visitation day, I wasn't able to. So I spent my 12th birthday with a nurse telling me happy birthday because she saw it on my chart while giving me medicine. And at dinner, I had that stale cupcake with like the crusted over vanilla icing with like the little dull colored sprinkles. And with this, it really shows you that no one's going to go above and beyond for you to even get you a Sam's Club cake. But once you really get into program, you can really see how it's like jail. You get counted for everything. How many times you use the bathroom, when you wash your hair, how much food you eat off of your plate, and they count those as points, how you interact with other students, etc. Then you're living with 10 other girls. So you have 10 sisters in there. So there's the petty dating drama, there's the petty not liking another girl drama. Then you guys are best friends. There's the people stealing stuff, and the list can go on. So with all of this, it's just like prison. You don't get any privacy, period. So after dealing with all of this for a certain amount of time, I decided to stop being so naive and actually take a reality check. Why am I here? A staff member there, I ended up having a conversation with her, and I don't know why I decided to listen to her, but I did, and I'm really glad I did. So after that conversation, all I did was write because when you're writing, you can't get in trouble. And then I started getting kudos from staff. So it made me really think I was going in the right direction. The next day, I went for my weekly therapy sessions, and my therapist told me we were going to do a safety plan. I didn't think anything of it because I'm so used to it. We finished, and she ends up asking me, "When do we usually do safety plans?" I tell her, "When I get discharged." And the amount of love and hate for her I had in that moment was indescribable. She told me my mom was gonna be there at 9 PM. So fast forward to 8:50. I'm saying my goodbyes to the girls. I had a nice time with you guys, but I never wanna see you again. Finally, a little bit after 9, they told me my mom was here, so they walked me out the door, the same lady who wanted to have a conversation with me, and they walked me up the stairs, and I see my mom and my grandparents filling out some paperwork and finishing up. After that, a shorter lady walked us down to, like, that 20-foot glass door, having to punch in her six-digit code one more time, and I did not look back after I went through that door. Like, it was so bad, our car was facing the door, so I had to close my eyes to get in. So, we got in the car, we took that 4-hour drive back, and I was there for 33 days and nights. All I could think about on that ride was everything I missed at home and at school, though. So I get back to school not too long later, and my teacher, Mrs. Anderson, pulls me aside. She tells me if I ever need to talk to anyone to come talk to her because she knows I'm better than this. And that motivation I need, she knows she can give me. She asked if I had a piece of paper, and all I had was my glittery pink happy planner that I begged my mom to buy for $30. So she took it and she wrote her number down, and all I could think about is this is legal. But she knew a lot more than I did. I might have missed a lot of things while I was in those places, but I did not miss field day. So field day comes around and I get to enjoy every bit of it. The burnt hot dogs, the popsicles in the cardboard, capture the flag, that plunger game where you put water in it and you try and run to the other side. And then that stupid game where you tie your ankles together and you're trying to run, but ultimately you guys fall over. And I got to just sit on the bleachers and reminisce about life like I'm in Fuji with a pina colada. And it was so different from how I was because I couldn't even use the bathroom without someone outside of the door. So once I get out of my delusional state after field day, I come to the realization that I've missed so much school. So I'm not gonna graduate. I'm gonna get held back. But at least I know some of the people in the younger grades. But I come to a realization at some point, my teacher, Mrs. Anderson, and my dean, Mr. Terry, they both were my biggest advocates. And they knew that even though I was a little behind, I could catch up. So I passed sixth grade when everyone else did. I went to seventh grade, and I'm not going to say it was perfect, but I did it. And then I went to eighth grade. I graduated from eighth grade. And then now I'm 15, about to graduate at 16. With this experience, you really learn that you can lose anything in a snap, and middle schoolers especially will take that for granted, and we all need to just stop doing that. Thank you.